Welcome in everybody to the Win Daily MLB DFS show. It's Tony Cutillo. It's Dave Gloeckner. You know us already. You know what we do. You know how we roll. WinDailySports.com. Give us a follow at Win Daily Sports. And I'll tell you what, before we even get into the 10-game slate for tonight, there's a lot of new things going on the website. So make sure you check it out. It's popping. On the right-hand side, you're going to see all the free the free, not, I wouldn't say ads, they are advertisements, but it's a way to get free money. So a lot of promotional things up there. If you go into the description of this YouTube channel, you're going to see at least 4 or 5 of our partners. They'll give you absolutely free money with a very, very small deposit. So make sure you take advantage of that. Make sure you like and subscribe like we always ask you to do. Dave, we got 10 games, man. Listen, we had a great weekend on Sirius like we always do. We had some great basketball to watch. Our Phillies finally got in the win column finally. We got Schwarber hit a Schwarber bomb, which we all love, right? Maybe we get back on track, but 10 games tonight, buddy. Right off the bat, I see that name, Shohei Ohtani, in the pitching category. I mean, listen, man, are we rolling with the guy or what?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know my theory about guys with 11,000. So
11-6, Dave, 11-6.
And going against the Astros. I mean, I talked about on the Sirius radio show how 11-5 for Cole wasn't the right spot at the time. Did a little, but anyway.
What's up, Derek? What's up, Derek?
All right, Derek. So, I just think with a big slate of 10 games, I can't get there with Ohtani. I know it's Houston, and Houston hasn't been like the most, powerful of offenses this year. They've been kind of sporadic. I think they're, just missing some pop with Altuve out of the lineup, and they're still trying to piece some things. But I just don't know if I can get there with all the other good pitchers on the slate. So I'll say Ohtani, amazing. Like 4.0 ERA this year, 2.54 ERA, the Ks per inning, per 9, 13.62 Ks per 9. So he's racking them up, but I'm going to pass. It hurts. You hear it? You hear it in my voice?
I hear it, man, but I get it. Here's the thing, man. I get it. Like, it's 11-6 is a gigantic number, man. Like, I mean, you have to be 100% sure. Listen, we got into this on the weekend, so everybody knows, and it was a completely different scenario, right? It was Spencer Strider and everybody else. So it was like you almost had to pay up for Spence. But now there's so many good pitchers, in my opinion. And just like you said, on this slate, I mean, one of them listen, you could drop down to like Giolito, right? You could Luzardo. I mean, these guys at 83, 8,800. Charlie Morton's had a really good play at 8,900. But Dave, I mean, you know as well as I do, who, if you're going to fade Shohei Ohtani, who's going to be your guy that you're going to ride?
I like Logan Webb. If I take one step down, it's really 2. Leap over Valdez again at 10-1 there. I just like Logan Webb a lot this year. And facing Washington, who lacks the power. Webb's only had one game where he had less than 6 innings pitched. And it was a game with 5 innings pitched. Otherwise, he's rolling out there averaging about 6.2 every game. So he's just that guy that's going to get the ball and going to get the innings pitched. And even more importantly, he's not going to let up many runs. I mean, his last 3 starts, all 2 earned run games. His Ks are up this year, looking pretty good with 48 Ks over his innings pitched. So 45 innings pitched. So he's over the 9 Ks per 9. I think it's solid versus Washington. Washington doesn't K a lot, but they also don't hit power. So I think I'm in the Logan Webb range. And then I'll tell you, truthfully, George Kirby's been better than, advertised. Had a big K game against the Phillies. Didn't K much last game, but Kirby's really been throwing well. His 3.11 ERA is met with a 3.06 FIP. So it's right where it should be. So Kirby's a nice, probably second alternative, even though Texas is tough.
Nah, they are. But, speaking of Logan Webb, he's the model of consistency. And right. I mean, when we talk about pitching, I mean, listen, this guy, except for the one little hiccup, and it was only the second game of the year against the White Sox, where he really got beat around a little bit. Still only gave up 4 runs, just gave up 9 hits, and only 81 pitches. Didn't make it out of the 5th. So he gave you unfortunately 6 points, right? But besides that, this dude's been a model of consistency, double-digit points, constant 20s, right above that line. So and again, 9,500. You're talking about saving $2,100 from Shohei Ohtani. I'm not saying, listen, he's not Shohei Ohtani,
no,
right? He's not. But if you can get 20 for 95, Otani's got to give you 35 to give you that 11-6. So I think the odds are stacked definitely against us, or for us, I should say, to get at 9,500 to get at least 23 to 25. Now, Dave, anywhere, I know we like to do this, but anywhere on the bottom, any bargain basement bin here as shopping for pitchers.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's not quite at the very bottom, but the one I really like a lot tomorrow is Jameson Taillon, 7,500 facing St. Louis. I get, St. Louis has that kind of murderer's row in the middle, but they really have pieced a weird lineup every night they go out, and then rightfully so, they're in last place in the whole National League. So Taillon, very interesting. 5.29 ERA met with a 2.47 FIP, 3 runs lower. And then when we look even deeper, his batting average on balls in play is 347, which is about, 100 points higher than the league average. So he's been kind of hit by the unluck bug. He's been very unlucky. So I think he's got a 10.59 Ks per 9. I think we could get some value there at 7,500. So I like Jameson Taillon. I don't know how much lower I'll go. I mean, we got Corbin, who is coming off actually a really good game.
Yeah, right.
But his numbers against Sam Fran are terrible. So I won't go there. It'll be interesting. I mean, I don't love anybody else probably much lower. Maybe Waka, but I think I'm going to stick and probably draw my line right around the Taillon range and then try and build up from there.
Yeah, I like it. I do, because listen, Taillon, he has from the past, he is a strikeout pitcher. So,
yeah.
He's dealing with a little groin strain. He's coming back. So one of these starts is where it's going to be the Taillon that we're used to, right? I mean, that's exactly what's going to be. So this could be it. Listen, my guy that I said I was thinking right off the bat that maybe you get a bargain basement pick on is Michael Walker. You just mentioned him. And then again, 6,600, you shouldn't expect the world, but this guy gave you 36 against a really good Atlanta team, right? So, then he had 2 really bad starts, and then he's starting to build back up where he's getting to 100 pitches. Listen, Michael Walker getting to 100 pitches at his age is a big deal. So for me, I think San Diego going up against a pretty lackluster Minnesota lineup besides Brian Buxton. They're not really knocking the cover off the ball. I think this could be a really good opportunity to get you some really cheap pitching if you decide to go the Shea Ohtani route, which we are not. But if you do, this is a nice pivot. Now, Dave, looking at these lineups, like we always do, stacks are always at a premium. There's a lot of good matchups just with the bats, just like the arms. But who are those top guys that you're looking at?
Yeah, again, we mentioned his name earlier. I know he had a good game, but I got to go to Corbin. I just look at guys like J.D. Davis, 4 career homers off Corbin. Michael Conforto, 5 career. That's a lefty on lefty matchup. So, I mean, typically on a good day, you might see a guy have like 2 career homers off a pitcher. So those 2 alone have 9 career home runs off Patrick Corbin. I don't think he'll be able to, continue, or put it back to back. I think the Giants are sneaky. I think they're like top 5 in home runs in the league, which is a surprise from a team that really doesn't have any bashers per se. So I like the Giants tomorrow. And as you've seen with Corbin, it's kind of been a roller coaster. Bad, good, bad, good, bad, bad, bad. So yeah, I like the Giants. And another team we'll look at, honestly, is the Yankees. They kind of woke up tonight facing old JP Sears. And I think, Harrison Bader back in that lineup, he's produced tremendously. Was only 3,500 tonight. Had another great night. I know they had home runs out of, I think it was Torres hit 1 too, and so did LeMahieu. So, Oakland is a horrific starting pitching staff, and they're throwing another one out tomorrow in Rucinski. So I like the middle of Yankees order, and it's not that expensive.
That's the thing. It's not that expensive. You can get some really good value in the lineup. I'll tell you what, one team that you didn't mention that's going to be my sneaky play, and I don't really think they're sneaky because they've been really good offensively this year. Obviously, is the Chicago Cubs, and I'm gonna play Chicago against my man Jack Flaherty, who has done nothing but give up runs after runs. He's giving right. I mean, listen, man, he's given up his last 5 starts at least 1 home run. He gave up 14 earned runs in 2 starts in little of 6 innings with 16 hits and 16 actual runs. Listen, I'll tell you what, man, this is a way to attack at Wrigley. I'm telling you right now, I'm buying all in on the Chicago Cubs. I can tell you that. Even though he's better away than he is at home, listen, at Wrigley Field, man, I am in. Give me those Chicago Cubs, Dave. I'm in.
I like it. Avon checking in says like Oakland. I can see that off good old Clark Griswold there and Clark Schmidt. But yeah, I Oakland's always sneaky. Even tonight, they rack up a couple runs off Nestor Cortez. Only let him go 5 innings. So they're a grinding team. So I do like the. For me, I probably like more the top of their order tomorrow. But I like Oakland. And then if there's one other, and I'm tracking. I like that call with the Cubs. The Cubs have been decent this year. Watch out for the Brewers too. The Syndergaard is bad, right? And the Brewers just want to hit home runs. They just load up. Adames had another one tonight. Syndergaard's let up 5 this year, but more importantly, his ERA is over 6. So I could see some good Brewer stacks too.
Yeah, well, here's listen, Milwaukee always, because it's exactly what we talked about too with value, and I think keep an eye on Christopher Morel getting recalled from AAA for the Chicago Cubs. If you remember last year, he was an absolute stud. I hit a lot of home run props on him. I mean, listen, he hit 11 home runs over 29 games already, batting 330. It just forced them to bring this kid up to an already solid lineup. And the thing about this lineup, Dave, is, and Jared had mentioned it in his article today as well, was about Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger, he's been red hot, man. Like, this is a renaissance year for Cody Bellinger, and he's only 4,300. I mean, Dave, looking at this, I mean, the highest guy, right? The highest guy who's healthy is Ian Happ at 4,800. Patrick Wisdom, 4,700. Dansby Swanson, 4,600. Suzuki, 4,600. 4,300 for Bellinger, 4,000 for Morel. I mean, you can get a cheap Mancini at 2,700, right? At FFVP level. So, I do, man. You hear me with the Cubs love fest. It's apparent, Dave. It is.
Yeah, and then you're rubbing it into Derek because he says his Cardinals are underachieving. So you're hitting.
I'm sorry, Derek, man.
Yeah, you might need to soften up on him. But yeah, hey, the Cards are at least winning on Monday, so maybe take that dub. But we'll see how it goes.
Small wins. Yeah, small wins.
But yeah, Tony, I think we have some good pitchers to attack tomorrow. I like your call with Flaherty, Syndergaard to attack, and then I'm in with the Schmidt, but also with Corbin and Rucinski. So lots of good stuff to kind of hit hard on. And we always like to look at one at the top though that's sneaky as well, right? Because when not all the top pitchers are going to come through and be beasts. I'm going to keep an eye on Arizona tomorrow against Luzardo. Arizona actually hits lefties really well. So I know Luzardo, I know you've liked him, and I do like him in certain spots. But his last few games, he's just been a little sticky here, letting up 3 earned, 3 earned, 4 earned, 2 earned, 3 earned. So I could see maybe some bats in Arizona, to power against Luzardo.
Yeah, it's funny, man. When we start doing these streams, and we'll mention this before we get out of here, Arizona was the one team that we keyed on because, Dave, he spotted Corbin Carroll a mile away. And I wrote a lot of these guys from a value standpoint. Christian Walker was 3,500. Ketel Marte was 4,300. Rojas was $4,000. And now all of a sudden you pull him up. Corbin Carroll is 5,800. Ketel Marte is 5,600. Rojas is 5,000. They're 4,900. Christian Walker. Dave, there's no more value in Arizona. People have caught on.
They have caught on. The only guys you'll get, Alec Thomas sometimes, some other guys down low there. But, yeah, you're right. And here they are hitting 270 against lefties this year, which is good for almost top 10. So, yeah, I mean, they're a strong lineup. And they're a team that I think is going to be there the entire year. So they're going to be competing even with the big dogs. I really feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Dave, before we get out of here, any final thoughts, any final value, any final things you want to talk about before we get out?
Now, my article will be coming up tomorrow. The sweet spot will definitely get into some of this, and as well as hit some FFVPs. I got to see how some of these things balance out. We have been hitting real good. We did it again on the Sunday show. So we'll have some FFVPs up on the site tomorrow, along with the DFS article and some bets too to throw out there. Had a good week last week, plus 8 units. So
Definitely. Keep it up. Keep the winning going. Drop it at Discord. Make sure you sign up at windailysports.com. Drop it at Discord every day. We try as best as we can. I know Dave drops an article where he's got props in there as well. I'll try to hop on there with the FFVPs between like 5 and 5:30 during the week when we don't have all 4 sports going on at one time. But for the most part, they're in there. So hopefully you hit. As always, make sure you like and subscribe to this show and the channel. Make sure you go to windailysports.com. Code anywhere, win big, your first free week. And like I said in the description, tons of free money being offered. Make sure you click on one of those links and get your free deposit. I think even FanDuel's like, as new, it's $5, you get 150, man. Like it's 150 free money. Start building that bankroll for football season, Dave. You know what I mean? Start building that bankroll. Let us help you get to where you want. So for Tony, for Dave, we're going to get out of there. As we always say, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you back here next time.